Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Crochet and Coffee here, and today we are going to be learning how to crochet a face mask. This is the face mask I made that I had posted that I was showing you guys that I'm going to show you how to make today. So this face mask does have a couple of different stitches. We have single crochet, half double crochets, double crochets, and we're also going to be stitching in back loop only stitches. Then for the back, we're going to do some half double crochets or some double crochets. It's just a matter of preference there. And then it also has a pocket in the back of it for a filter. So for a filter for this, I used an unscented dryer sheet. And then, of course, we have our little ear holes here. I will teach you how to make this. And this size here fit not only me, but it also fit my 7 and my 9-year-old. So it should be a size that should be kind of universal if you use the right yarn. Now, I am using 100% cotton yarn. The reason why you want to use cotton is because the fibers don't stretch like they do with acrylic. And it's easy to wash. You can wash cotton and let it sit and dry, and it's not going to expand or shrink in your wash. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First things first, you're going to need cotton yarn and a 3mm hook. The hook that I'm using is the one I just did the demo for. And we're going to start this off by doing 40 chain stitches. So you're going to do your slip stitch. Now, when you do your 40 chain stitches, you're going to actually be doing 40 plus 1. That plus 1 is for your turning chain. When you do this, you also want to make sure your stitches, because it's cotton and the fibers for cotton are usually a little bit smaller, you're going to want to make sure you're not making your chain stitches too tight. So we're going to get started. We're going to do chain of 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, you're going to keep going until you hit 41. Remember, you got to do that extra one for the turn. So I'll meet you back when we get to 41. All right, so that's what your 41 should look like. Again, make sure those stitches aren't too tight because you have to work into those stitches, okay? So because we did 41, our next row, row 2, you're going to skip the last one. So the first stitch that you see here, we're going to bring it down so you can see. You're going to skip that first stitch because that's just for your turning. So you're going to skip the first stitch, go into the second stitch with a single crochet. So we're going to go insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. 2 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over, pull through. You're going to do that 5 times, or 4 more times now. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So at this point, you should have 5 single crochets. If at any point in time in this video I'm going too fast or you need to slow it down, please feel free to do so because everybody works at their own pace. This isn't a very hard pattern. It's going to have a lot of repeats. So once you get this first row down, you'll be able to do the rest of it on your own until we get to the back part of the stitching. So we're going to follow the first row. I'm going to do 2 more rows with you, and then I'm going to let you go until we get to the end of the front of the face mask. So now that you've done your 5 single crochets, next we're going to do 5 half double crochets. So what we're going to do, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over and pull through. We should have 3 loops on our hook. We're also going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. And we're going to do it again. We're going to do it 4 more times. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. And then there's 4. So altogether you should have 5 double crochets, and you can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now when you count your stitches, you see the little V's at the top that looks like a braid? That's what you're counting. So you have 1 under the hook here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you should have 5 for your singles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So altogether you should have 10 stitches right now. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do 20 double crochets. To do that, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook. We're going to yarn over again and pull that through. So you should have 3 loops on your hook at this point. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops, yarn over, and pull through those last 2 loops, and that will give you your first double crochet. We're going to do that 20 times in total. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, you're going to do 10 more on your own. If you feel like you need to pause the video to get those 10 done, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and finish out the last 10, and then I'll come back when we finish having 20 double crochets. All right. Now we've gotten, so far, you should have 5 single crochets, 5 half double crochets, 20 double crochets. When you hit this part, you're then going to go backwards. So now you're going to do 5 half doubles and 5 singles. So let's do that. So we're going to go yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. We're going to do that 4 more times. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. And with the half doubles, remember, you're pulling through all 3. You're not going to do like you do with a double and pull through 2 and then pull through 2. You're just pulling through all 3 of them. So that was 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to go into the single crochets. So you should have 5 more stitches. And you need 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you do that 5th one, you're going to chain 1 and flip your work. So if you need to pause the video here to get caught up, please feel free to do so. And if not, we're going to move on to the next row. Now, this next row is the row you're going to keep doing until you hit the number of stitches up that you need. So we're going to do the same thing we just did going back this way. So we're going to do 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When you hit 5 single crochets, you're then going to hit 5 double crochet, or I'm sorry, half double crochets. So 5 half doubles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's 5 singles and 5 doubles, okay? Now this is the part where you can use your own discretion on this part. This part just helped me, it helped it look more like a mask to me. You can either do 5 or 20 double crochets, just like you did the half double and the single here, or you can do it this way. I did it back loop only for the double crochets. And what that means is, let's bring you down so you can actually see what I'm doing here. When you go to do your double crochets, you see how the V, hold on, I'm gonna point to it with my hook here. See how that V there has, you can go underneath it to get both of the strings, which is what you typically would do, or back loop only, you would go through the middle of that V to the loop that's furthest away from you. And that's what we're going to do with this one. So we're going to do a double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to insert my hook in between the V. I'm going to yarn over again. Pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to do that again. So we're going to go in, we're going to yarn over in the center of that V right there. We're going to go to the stitch that's furthest away from us. We're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to continue doing that until we finish with our double crochets. Remember to use the back loop only. You have to remember to go through the center of that V and not underneath it. And this just gives you a ribbed look. I'll show you here when we finish. I'll show you what it looks like from the other mask. You can change colors as well if you feel like changing colors to your mask to make it a colorful mask. It's completely up to you. But please, I do ask that you don't use the mask without a filter. Without a filter, the masks don't work because of all the tiny little holes. Air particles and everything can get through those tiny little holes, which is why I chose to do this one with a filter, because doing it without a filter will not block you from anything that you're trying to keep away from your face. So all those germs and stuff that you're trying to keep, you know, from spreading or from getting to your face, you can't essentially protect yourself from them without having some kind of a filter. So you want to make sure that you do this pattern with the filter. I have seen ones without the filter, but honestly, you want to do the filter because it's going to give you more of that protection that you're looking for. So we're going to finish up here with our double crochets. This is a really quick, simple, easy project. You could probably do one in about an hour, hour and a half. I'm just going to try to show you guys the best way I can of how I make my face mask. Oh, hold on. I lost my stitch there. We're almost to the end of our double crochets. Sorry, I saw my hands drifting off camera. I have a bad habit of doing that. My apologies. All right, so now it should look like this. See how it has that line up front? When I say it gives it a ribbed look, it will look like this. It almost looks like 3D. Now, when I did this one, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the ribbed look or not. So these 2 rows here are normal. And then I started doing the ribbed look and I realized that I liked the ribbed look. This is all trial and error. So you're going to, make mistakes and stuff when you're writing a pattern. So now that you have your 20, if you need to take a second to pause the video here to catch up, please feel free to do so. If not, we're going to keep on pushing. So the next thing you do, if you haven't guessed it, is your 5 half double crochets, and we're going to do those normally. So we're going to go under the V for those. And by under the V, see that little hole right there? When you yarn over, you're going to go straight underneath there to catch the entire V on your hook. Yarn over and pull through. Three, 4, and 5. And then we're going to do single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's what your second row should look like. It might curve a little bit, like you see it curving here, kind of like it's doing an arch, but as you keep going, it'll stop doing that. So you're going to do this exact same thing that you did for round 2. You're going to keep doing that. That's the round repeat. Now, I usually do that between, if you're doing it for an adult, I say do it 15 times. So you want 15 rows all together. If you're doing it for a child, I would say 13 to 14 rows. So I'm going to go through this with you one more time just to make sure you got the hang of it. So we're going to yarn over. Nope, I lied. We're going to chain 1. And then we're going to have 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we got 5 single crochets, and then we're going to move up next to the half double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that should put you back right where the double crochet started. If not, you need to take a minute to figure out where you went wrong. Go ahead and pause the video here, and then when you come back, we'll do the 20. All right, so then once you did your 20 double crochets, this is what it should look like. And now we're gonna go and do the other side, which is 5 half double crochets and 5 single crochets. So we're gonna go 1, 2, remember these are the half doubles, 3, 4, and 5. Once you do your 5 double crochet or half double crochets, then you do single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then that's what it should look like there. You're going to do that last one because that's your turning one. So we're going to do a single crochet into that last one there. If you have that little tail on the end, you could do another single crochet in there, and then you're going to chain 1, turn, and you're going to skip that one. That's just for turning purposes. So we're going to do this last row together so I can show you how to do it one more time, and then I'm going to let you go. When you do this, this is the row repeat. This is the repeat row here. So you're going to do the exact same thing as you did for round 2. If you're making it for an adult, I would say anywhere between 14 to 15 rows altogether should be completed. If you're doing it for a small child, my children are 7 and 9, I did 13 to 14 rows depending. It just depends on what size works best. You can always put it up to make sure it fits the face. So yeah, so after you did your chain 1, again, we're going to skip that first one. We're going to go into that second one. We're going to do 5 single crochets. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going up to half double. So yarn over. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that should be your 5 single crochets and your 5 half double crochets done there. Now you're going back to back loop only for your double crochets. And again, you go through the center of that V on top to the stitch that's the loop that's right furthest away from you. You're going to yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. You're going to do that for all 20 of those stitches. So 2, 3, 4, oh, lost my stitch there. So 4, and we have 5, and remember 6. Don't remember, well, remember 6, but not. Remember that you're doing the back loop only for your half double crochets to give it that ribbed look. So we have 7, 8. Also, if you need to pause the video, stop it at any time to catch up, feel free to do that. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, and then that's what you should have for 20 double crochets there. And now we go back to the half doubles. We're going to go underneath into both so that that V is sitting on top of your hook. We're going to yarn over, go through that loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to go do your last 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and chain 1, and turn your work. Now, like I said, this is the end of row 3. And as you can see, you're getting a little bit of a texture there, and then your sides are coming out flat. That's exactly the look you want. Now you're going to continue doing this either for another 10 rows, another 11, or 12 rows. It depends on what size you're making. So if you're making one for yourself and you are yourself an adult or a teenager, you're going to want to do at least 14 rows all together. So that would be another 11 rows. But you're going to make it until it's the size that you desire that fits your face or the face of the person that you're making it for. So continue doing that. And when I'll come back when I get to that desired row. So if you need to go back, rewind, rewatch what I've already done, feel free to do so. But I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to get to the row that I would like to get to. And then when I come back, I'll show you how to do the ears and finish it up. Okay, so now, when you've hit whichever row you decided to stop at, whether it was 13, this here is 14 rows, or if you wanted to do an extra row for 15, now you're going to start making the back portion of the mask, okay? So what I do is I still turn my work and I chain 1, but we're going to slip stitch till we get to the first, where we stop. We're going to do the first 5 of the single crochet, except for we're not going to single crochet, we're going to slip stitch. So we're going to do 5 slip stitches just to get us to the half double crochet. So 1, make sure I get all my fibers there. Okay, let's try that again. So we're going to do 1, 2, and these are just slip stitches. 3, 4, and 5. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do half double crochets. And you're going to start where you would normally start the half double crochets, and you're going to go all the way to the end. So we're just going to half double crochet all the way over. Also, I forgot to mention, make sure you count your stitches whenever you are getting ready to do this row. Make sure that you have 40 stitches. You shouldn't have 41. You shouldn't have 39. You should have 40 stitches, because then when you complete this first row of half double crochets, you should then have 30 stitches that you are working. The other 10 stitches are the 5 on each side of the single crochets, which we will not work to make the back part of the mask. So we're just going to half double crochet all the way to the other side. Make sure you're getting in the stitches. Again, if it's going too fast, you can always slow the video down, pause, stop, do whatever you need to. You work at your own pace. We're just going to keep going here until we get to that last one. And you're going to half double crochet all the way back to where you were half double crocheting before. And we're going to stop right before it hits those 5 single crochets. So we're going to half double all the way up. Sorry, I'm getting caught on strings here. So we're going to half double on the half doubles. from the previous row. And you should have 5 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that tells us that was the last half double crochet we needed to make. So you should have 30 half double crochets. So this is where you're going to pause and check to make sure you have 30 half double crochets. Once you have verified that you have the correct number of stitches, you're going to continue doing this for a few rows. When I say a few rows, if you decided to do the child size and stop at 13, you're going to do 13 rows. Or, I'm sorry, if you did the 13 rows, you're going to do 12 rows. If you did the 14 rows, you're going to do 13 rows. If you did the 15 rows, you're going to do 14 rows of nothing but half double crochet. Depending on where you stopped, if you would like to do, you're going to do one less row than you did for the front part, because this is the front part mask of the mask. So this is the part that's going to bubble in like this, but we need that tension on the back to make it curved. So you're going to do one less row of half double crochets that you did of the face mask itself. You're going to skip over the 5 on this side. So once you have your 30, you're going to flip it over. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to go back the opposite direction, and you're going to half double crochet the opposite way. So we're going to just half double crochet, going the opposite way, and you can count as you go this way. Just want to make sure it stays at 30. You don't have any more, any less. And this is just plain rows of half double crochet. And I'm using half double crochet because it gives you a closer stitch. Unlike with double crochet where it has the kind of big gapping in it, you don't want that huge gapping, because in between this section that you're making now and the section you've already made for the front, there's going to be that dryer sheet. So though that dryer sheet's going to act as a filter, you're going to want to make sure that those back, like you want to make sure it's as closed in as possible to keep in the germs if you have any yourself, or to keep out the germs that might try to come towards your face. So you're going to want to make sure you use a tighter stitch, like a half double crochet. If you would like to use a single crochet, you could, but my go-to is usually a half double. So we're going to half double all the way to the end here. And again, you would check to make sure you have 30 stitches. So we're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 on the dot. If you need to, put a stitch marker there so that you don't do any more than you need. I'm actually going to redo this last stitch because it looks like I didn't go under both. I just went under the one. So we're going to do that last half double crochet over again. There we go. You're going to chain 1, turn, and you're going to do that. So again, just to repeat myself, you're going to keep doing the 30 rows of the half double crochet, or the 30 stitches of the half double crochet, until you have one less row than you did for the front of the face mask. So if you did 13 rows, you're going to have 12 rows of half double. If you did 14 rows, you're going to have 13 rows of the half double. And if you did 15 rows for the front, you're going to have 14 rows for the back of your face mask. So keep going and doing that. And when I come back, we'll make the ear holes and it'll be done. And we're back. So you finish the front. you've got your stitches count for however many you need for the back. So again, if you did 13 rows for the front, you're doing 12 rows for the back. If you did 14 rows, 13 rows for the back. If you did 15 rows for the front, 14 rows for the back. Now, what you're going to do, and I've already done it here. I kind of forgot I was recording and went ahead and started trying to like do stuff ahead of time. What you're going to do now is you're going to mark, like you're going to get your stitch markers and you're going to mark. You're going to count 5 from the beginning, and on the 6th stitch, you're going to put the stitch marker. Same for this side. You're going to count 5 stitches, and then the 6th one will get a stitch marker. Because then what you're going to do is you're going to fold this up. Why are you folding it up? Because you're then going to slip stitch it closed. This is the part where you're making the flap for the filter, for the dryer sheet that we're going to put in. So then what you're going to do next, bring you down a little bit. You're going to go into that stitch where the stitch marker is. So wherever the stitch marker is, you're going to go into that stitch. And you're going to, sorry about that. You're going to go into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then you're going to go into the next stitch, slip stitch that, and you're going to do this the whole way over. You should be doing it for 30 stitches. So you're going to go into the stitch that makes the front, put it with the front one. So the back part is going to meet the front part. Sorry about the law. If you can hear the dog panting, I'm pretty sure you probably can. My dog has decided to come sit next to me and pant. All right, so we're gonna do this. All right. And you're just gonna keep doing this. And when you stop, you should be where the other stitch marker is. Because you did the same amount of stitches up here that you did for the back. Let me make sure I'm going into the right one. Make sure you are going into the right one, because you don't want to end up with too many stitches on the filter part here. So you're just going to slip stitch the entire way across, and then when you're done with that, I'll show you what to do next. I'll meet you over at the end. All right, now that you have it all sewed together with your slip stitch, it should all come together just like that. If you're a stitch off, I think you'll be all right. So that was my last slip stitch there. So I am then going to add one more for this edge piece, because if you remember, that was a turning chain. Add one more for that, and then you're just going to slip stitch into the side here. You're not going to take that back part with you. You're just going to slip stitch without it, because you're now going to go over and make the ear part of the face mask. So you're going to slip stitch 4 times, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to catch that tail in there so we can trim that off. Now you're on the side. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have 14 holes on the side. But that doesn't matter, because I'm going to chain. So that was just me counting to see how many rows I did. So we're going to chain up. We're going to do, because I did 14, I'm going to do 40. I'm going to chain up 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then when I get to 40, I'll come back and show you what we do next. All right, so I have my chain of 40. And actually, you know what? We're going to add 5 stitches. We're going to add 5 stitches, because then we'll do 45 for each side. So we'll do that, and we're going to go ahead and slip stitch it here. sorry, we're going to go back into that first. I added my 5 stitches, so it's going to be 45 for your ear, or 45 for mine. You do it however it's comfortable for your ear. And then in that first space there, you're going to slip stitch. So you're going to go ahead and slip stitch into there. And then turn. I'm going to fix that because I hate when the string is coming through the middle of it. Flatten it out, make sure it's all going the same direction. Make sure I don't have it twisted. Then I'm just going to go back in. Make sure that string this time is on the outside. I'm going to slip stitch that through. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back and do a single crochet around that, just to give it some extra padding so you don't have this tight string around your ear. So we're going to do 45 single crochets into the stitches. So you just go into your stitches. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure it's on my hook correctly. So then what you're going to do, you're going to find that first stitch. And again, you don't want to make your stitches too tight because then it's going to be hard for you to get into them whenever you go to single crochet. So we're going to go in to this first stitch here. Sorry, I might have been off camera when I did that. So I went into that first stitch and I'm just going to single crochet. And then you just go to the next stitch. Single crochet. And you're going to do this the whole way around until you get back to the other side. And like I said, be careful. Make sure you don't make those stitches too tight because you have to get into them to make this extra padded part. So I'll see you back around when we get back to the beginning. Again, you're going to do 1 single crochet into each one of those stitches until you get to the back part, or till you get back to your ending point. All right, so when you get to this point, your ear strap should look like this. You should just have that single crochet layer on it. I did do a slip stitch into the first stitch of that row. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pull out my yarn snips. And I'm going to go ahead and, because we took care of that tail, so we're going to trim that too. We're going to trim this tail a little bit here. We're going to bring this through to make a knot. We're going to make our knot there. We can tie these to the tail and the knotted end together just so that they're nice and secure. And then we're going to trim off both these tails. So we're just going to trim that off there. So we got those two tail ends trimmed off. And then we're going to trim them down a little bit further than that because I don't want them sticking up like that. There we go. So we have 1 ear hole. So we're going to go move on to the next one. And this is the last part of the tutorial. So we're going to make another slip stitch. We're going to attach it to the bottom here. We're going to attach it with a slip stitch. And then we're going to chain, remember, 45. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that will meet you back when we get to 45. Again, we've gotten our 45 stitches. And we are going to take it up here to the first stitch. And we're just going to slip stitch it here. We slip stitched it. All right, sorry about that. So you're going to slip stitch that chain to that first stitch of the face mask, the front part of the face mask. We're then going to flip it, and then we're going to do our single crochets again. You're just going to go into that stitch again, making sure that those stitches aren't super tight so you can actually get your hook through it. And you're just going to go through both. Go through both. And we're going to do this the whole way like we just did with the other ear until we get to the other side. Single crocheting through each stitch. And then when we get to the other side, I'll meet you back over on that side. All right, now when you get back to the beginning, you're going to slip stitch in that first stitch, and you're going to take that tail and make sure it's in there with it. And then we're going to cut our yarn again. Make a knot here. Just making sure it's nice and secure. Sorry, my yarn is in strands here. And then we're going to trim the tails off. We can go ahead and remove the stitch markers that we put in before. Just put the cap back on that, safety first. And there you go. There you have it. There is your face mask, complete with filter insertments where you can get, like I said, you want to do an unscented dryer sheet, mostly because you don't want to be breathing in a scented dryer sheet. So even if you use one that's been used or you want it to be a little bit more distressed, I tend to rub mine together and then fold them like this. Insert through one side. And then you can widen it out for however you need to. And there you have it. There is your face mask. And if you wanted to do a border, you could also go around from the beginning here and do a border around in a different contrasting color to bring out the color of the purple in this, or in whatever color you use. So if, like, say if I want to do like a yellow or a black, just to accent it a little bit, you could. It would also hide the where you attached and detached the ear holes. But there you have it, folks. That is the face mask. And it does protrude up a little bit just like that. It's real textured, real cool, real easy. That should it's probably a good 2-hour project for you, if that. So depending on how fast you crochet. But with that said, folks, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns about this pattern or any other pattern that you've seen on the channel, or you just want me to try a pattern for you to help you out, please feel free to leave those comments down in the comment section below. That said, if you're new to the channel and would like to see more random videos just like this one, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified anytime I randomly decide to put up a video. And believe me, it's random. With that said, folks, again, thank you, but I must bid you adieu. But not before reminding you, like I always try to be kind, be courteous, be cool. Bye, guys.